Hello crafters, this is Flavia and I hope you're having a great day. Today we will be creating note cards with a surprise window at the front. I will also show you a trick for adding a stained glass look to your note cards. It is very easy to do and I hope you give it a try. And the best part is that you can use any intricate die plate that you might already have for this technique. For today's note cards, I will be using the Simon Says Stamp Love Birds metal plate. This is not a new product, but it is still available for purchase if you're interested. At the end of this video, I will give you a closer look at the completed note card, so stay tuned for that. I will begin by die cutting this image out of white cardstock. I will actually cut out many pieces at once because we will need to stack a few die cut pieces later. I will adhere one die cut piece for now to a white panel that measures 5¼ inches tall by 4 inches wide. This is the panel that will go inside my A2 size side folding note card. Since this is a very intricate die cut, I will use a needle tip bottle to apply liquid adhesive. Another option would be to add a piece of double-sided adhesive to the back of your cardstock before you die cut it, so you do not have to apply liquid adhesive in the back of your intricate die cut. I chose not to do that because I'm used to applying liquid adhesive and this fine tip bottle makes the process very easy, but know that that is an option as well. To add some color to this image, I will use Copic markers, but you can use any type of markers or coloring pencils that you might already have. There is no need here to avoid coloring over the white die cut because later we will make it neat again by adding more layers of die cuts on top of this one. So for now, just focus on adding color to all of the nooks and crannies of this image because that is the most important thing for this step. Here is a closer look at what my panel looks like once I'm done adding color. It doesn't really look like anything right now, but we will step it up in a second. And notice that it is kind of messy because I did go over sections of the white die cut. To fix that, I will first go over this entire image with my shimmer pen just to add some sparkle, and then I will stack 4 more die cuts and adhere it on top to make it neat again and hide all of those sections of this white die cut where I went over with my coloring markers. I tend to go overboard with stacking die cuts, but you could actually just add 1 or 2 more layers. Another reason why I stacked that many die cut pieces is because I am planning on applying a generous amount of Ranger Glossy accents on top to give it a stained glass look. This will take a few hours to dry, and it is very important that we wait until this panel has completely dried before proceeding to the next step. Since we need to apply a lot of Ranger Glossy accents, make sure to use a heavyweight cardstock for your panel to avoid any warping. My panel did warp a little bit after I applied Ranger Glossy accents, but it was not that bad after it dried and I was able to adhere it to my note card without a problem. For my card base, I chose a craft colored cardstock. This note card measures 5½ inches tall by 4¼ inches wide. Using a large circle plate, I will cut out a window from the front of this note card so we can still see these birds when the note card is closed. Using pieces of tape, I will secure this metal plate in place, and since I plan on adhering another white panel inside the note card, I will adhere it in place as well using removable tape. Then I will run this through my die cut machine with the note card opened, so I only cut out a circle at the front. Depending on the weight of your cardstock, you might have to run it through your die cut machine twice to be able to cut through the 2 layers of cardstock. The reason why I chose to temporarily adhere the white panel inside is because I want to be able to remove this white panel so I can add some texture to the card base only by running it through my die cut machine one more time. To do so, I will use this fun piecing plate by Honeybee Stamps. This time, I will place the card base folded so I can add texture to the front and the back of the note card at once. After that, I can go ahead and adhere the white panels inside using strong liquid adhesive so I can have a smooth space to write a personal message later. I was actually supposed to glue the white panel with the birds on the right side, but I got distracted, so I will glue that panel on top of this one later. To create a frame for my round window, I will use that same round metal plate that I used to cut it out and a slightly smaller one. I will tape these two metal plates together and cut my frames out of a dark brown cardstock. I will cut out two pieces so I can make the inside of the note card look finished as well, but that is optional and you can skip this step if you want to. For the sentiment, I cut out the word hello using a metal plate included in the Honeybee Stamps Slimline Sentiments. This is another old set that is still available, however, note that it will be retiring soon. I love the style of these letters and I think it is very elegant. I cut this sentiment out of a piece of golden cardstock that I glue on top of a few stacked die cuts so it stands out more. To make the envelope match, I will add some texture to the flap of this white envelope by running it through my die cut machine with that same piecing plate by Honeybee Stamps. I will also add a thin cardstock strip that I cut out of that same craft colored cardstock. At the end, I decided to cut the image of these birds out of golden cardstock to match the sentiment, and later I will add a sentiment strip inside of this note card. I actually created two hello note cards and I will give you a closer look in a minute. However, before I do that, I want to show you that this metal plate is also a great option for creating Valentine's Day note cards, which is what I did for this next one. I colored these birds using pink and red markers this time, and I repeated that same process for giving it a stained glass look. I also decided to cut out the frame for these birds out of a metallic gold cardstock that I will add on top of these three stacked white die cuts. And again, because I wasn't paying attention, I made another mistake and glued this panel to the wrong card base. So I will carefully remove it and adhere this stained glass die cut to another white panel that will go inside a note card with a heart-shaped window. Because I wanted this to be a Valentine's Day note card, I used a large heart-shaped metal plate to cut out the window at the front. I apologize for not recording this part, but the process was exactly the same for the round window that we created for the previous note card. I guess I was having one of those bad crafting days and just kept on making one mistake after another, but the lesson here is that we should not give up no matter what, because we will end up with awesome note cards. I also created heart-shaped window frames so it has a more finished look, and this time I cut it out of a piece of red glitter cardstock. And just like I did before, I added one frame at the front and another one inside the note card. For the sentiment, I die cut Te Amo using metal plates included in the Mama Elephant big Spanish words. Te Amo means I love you in English and it happens to mean the same thing in Portuguese, which is my first language. To make it extra special, I will add tiny die cut hearts to the inside of this note card. And now, after all of that struggle, here is a closer look at the completed note cards. I made each envelope match by using that stitching plate on the flap of the envelopes, and then I added a cardstock strip that I cut out of the same color of cardstock that I use for the card base. Inside some of them, I added either a hot foiled or a stamped sentiment that I position in such a way that it doesn't show when the note card is closed, so it works as a surprise for the recipient. So I hope you enjoyed this video and felt inspired, especially to never give up when things do not go as planned. If you're interested, there is a supply list of all products used in the description box down below. And remember, you can visit my blog for pictures of these note cards and a visual supply list. Thank you so much for spending this time with me, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care and happy crafting!